Hello, beautiful. Welcome. My name is More Yelvington of More Transform Your Reality, where I help mainly women and mom step out of anxiety and depression, heal their bodies, and connect to their power so they can raise resilient children. If this is the first time you're watching me live, welcome to my world. And if you've been following me for the last couple of years, welcome back. I'm so honored that you're here, taking your time to get a little more awareness. What I like to do in these lives is share some awarenesses with you. Let me turn this off real quick. Sorry about that. So, thanks for your patience. So what I like to do in these lives is share some awareness tips with you that hopefully you can take to your life and start creating a better life for you and for your family. That is my goal with this life. And I want to share with you a story today, a personal story that maybe by listening to it would help you look at some situations that you're going through in a different way. Maybe will open up your mind to look at something a little bit differently. So I'm going to share with you. 8 years ago today, I was 9 months pregnant and with my second child, my second daughter. And it was a good pregnancy. She was a really active kid. I woke up, it was like 5 a.m. I went to the bathroom, my water just broke on the floor, and I was like, whoa, I guess I'm giving birth today. It was December 6th. It was the first night of Hanukkah. And to me, that was a big miracle. When we chose her name is Noah, and in Hebrew it means wonders and miracles created by God. So it was such a fitting name for her to be born on the first night of Hanukkah. It wasn't her actual due date. She was a little early. And an hour later, we got a phone call from my grandma that her husband, who was my step grandpa forever, passed away at night. And there was this very big wave of emotion because on one hand, I was about to give birth. I knew it was coming. It was going to happen in next few hours. And then there was the sight of death. And it was a pretty emotional roller coaster. Later on that day, we got another phone call that my aunt had passed as well. And both of these news happened while I was in labor. I was laboring at home because my husband was learning for a test. And so we really wanted to finish his finals before we went to the birth center until I gave birth. So I was laboring at home. I was with my mom and I was with my oldest child, and we were doing Hanukkah activities while I was, rocking back and forth and going through the contractions and breathing and bouncing on the ball and doing all the laboring things at home as much as I could before I knew it was time. And it was time that we had to go. And right about that time, after we got these two phone calls of losing my step grandfather and losing my aunt, and the array of emotions of that, it was holding the duality of feeling really high and feeling really low. And knowing that I had to keep, my energy for my daughter that was right there, and strong for my mom, and laboring, not letting it go overboard so Ray could my husband can finish his finals. It was this whole craziness of a day. And with all of that, it was so dark outside. It was raining and pouring the whole day. It was almost like the gates open and the flood has arrived. It was crazy rainy. And so about 6:30, Ray comes down the stairs, finished his finals, he did a great job on his finals. We were able to light the first Hanukkah candle with my daughter, with Gaia. She was 2.5 at a time with my mom. Light the candles, light the light in a day that felt very light and very dark all at the same time, mixed up with all the emotions. And we got into the car. At this point, my contractions were so close apart. I remember later Ray said to me, I was pretty sure you were going to give birth in the car, because I could just feel Noah. She was just coming. And we were driving in this pouring rain. It was so dark outside. And it was one of those times where you feel like it's raining from the ground up, like you're in a cloud and you just can't see anything. The windshield wipers, you are barely blocking any rain. And I'm next to him, squeezing his hand, looking at the clock of the radio and how it's changing. And I'm counting in my head, oh, I'm having a contraction every minute. I don't know if this is good, right? And in my head, trying to keep calm, feeling my grandpa's soul there with me, and my aunt. I really felt their presence and kind of being there to support me. And it was a very out-of-body experience. I know if you've ever given birth, it's an out-of-body experience, and it could be very intense. Luckily, we got to the birth center, and she was born at 10:10 on December 6th, 8 years ago. And it was one of the happiest days of my life, and she was definitely a miracle. Noah is a miracle to the world. Ever since she was a baby, she would tell me how she sends healing to people from her heart. She would tell me that when she feels somebody is sad, that she'll just imagine love coming out of her heart and surrounding that person and making them feel good. She's very connected and very aligned. A lot of times she'll tell me dreams that she has on different spirits, and she will tell me about the spirits and ghosts that live in our house. She's very into it. She's very connected. She's very sensitive. She has the biggest heart, and she is a miracle to this world. I know one day she's going to do amazing things. This week, I want to say, it started last week. On Thursday, my grandma, which I love dearly more than anything in this world, went into the hospital on Thursday, and she declined very quickly, and she passed away on Monday. I'm so lucky that I was able to hop on a plane and go to Las Vegas and be with her for her last days. Even though I grew up in Israel and my grandma is from America, we were always very close. Back then, we would call her on the phone like once a week. I remember these phone calls were so expensive, and we could barely, we was like, I love you. It was so short and so expensive, and it's amazing to me how, how we went from those to like, she can see me on her phone. She can talk to my brother in Israel with his family while she's on her deathbed saying goodbye. It's amazing the shift in the technology from, that to now. She had an amazing life. She had a hard life. She went through a lot of things, and physically she went through a lot of things. She was definitely a survivor, and she was very strong, but she was very sharp and very there and very coherent all the way till the end, which made it harder to say goodbye. It was very humbling to see the separation of a soul from their body. And the work that I do, so much of the work that I do is helping people heal their bodies and feel safe in their bodies so their soul can come back. And this was a soul that was like really attached, did not want to leave the body, was not ready to leave the world. And to go with her on those 3 days, kind of guiding her through the awareness that it's her time and her body is shutting down, and she's had an amazing life, and being able to be there with her and talk to her. And even till the last moment, she was still cracking jokes and talking to the doctor, talking to the nurses. She was so there, which made it so much harder. Getting emotional, love my grandma so very much. She was such a bright light in my life. And I'm so honored, I'm so humbled that she was able to see my children. Up until now, she got to meet all her grandchildren and see them and experience them and play with them, I'm so lucky that in September we were able to go there and be with her and celebrate her 92nd birthday. And she was playing with the children. We got these great photos. I have amazing memories from her. And she was such an inspiration in so many ways in my life. And I'm so honored that I got to be there with her, that I got to spend the time with her, that I got to feel her and be with her until her last breath, pretty much. She passed away 10 minutes, about 10 to 20 minutes after I left her room. And it was a very humbling experience. And so the last couple of days have been very hard for me emotionally. And here we are. It's Noah's birthday. And it's again this duality, the duality of life and death, the duality of major happiness, amazing happiness, and really deep sadness. And riding those waves of emotion, and figuring out how you ride these waves with a balance that fits your life. How do you let the wave come? How do you feel it? How do you breathe through it? How do you let it go? And how do you move on? Because it's really easy to get sucked under. It's really easy to get stuck, to drown, to get hit by the waves over and over and over again. How do you stay afloat? How do you ride the wave? And where does that find you? So I'm curious if you want to share with me, and I would love to hear from you, how do you feel when big life events like this come? And it seems like in the last couple months, they've been coming. The waves have been big, and they've been strong, and they've knocked me down a few times, definitely. And how do we get back up? And how do we get our strength back up? And how do we keep moving forward? What I found for me is if I can anchor into gratitude, if I can anchor into what I'm really grateful for in life, if I can anchor into the frequency of gratitude, it always brings me back up from wherever I am. Even if I feel like I'm drowning, even if I feel like I'm on the beach and I keep getting knocked over, the frequency of gratitude and the trust that no matter what, it's going to be okay. The trust. My trust in myself, my trust in the Creator, my trust in the universe and God is what keeps pulling me back up, keeps bringing me back to this point, even to here, to this moment right now, to share with you this story. Because I truly believe that if we can tune into our gratitude, if we can tune into our trust, we can conquer anything. We can survive anything. We can handle anything. And if we're together, we can do it 10 times fold. And if we're bringing more people in, 100 times fold. And I truly believe that as a world, as women, as moms, if we come together, we can shift and change everything and anything. So one of the pieces of this is I was going to teach the matriarch class. It was supposed to start on Monday, but because of all of this, it got shifted, and we're going to start it next Monday, which is, I want to say, 15. I need to look at the calendar. But what I want to tell you about this is that I know in my heart that if you are ready for something completely different, if you are experiencing a lot of these waves, a lot of anxiety, depression, fear, a lot of fear, if you're stuck in fear, this masterclass, the Matriarch Masterclass, the Matriarch Intensive will change the way you view anxiety, the way you view depression, the way you view fear. Okay? It will transform how your body handles those feelings, those emotions. I will share with you the tools, the techniques that I use to literally uplift me every single time. Get me out of these situations, out of these, crashing waves over and over again. So if you want and you're interested to come play with me for 5 days, maybe it sounds like it's too much. It's going to be recorded and you can watch the replay if you purchase. It's only $444. I'm going to keep this price. And you would be amazed at what shifts and changes for you. I know this because I've done this with women for over 18 years now. And the text messages I get, the reviews I get, the phone calls I get from my clients, they're absolutely mind-blowing every single time. And you don't know until you experience it. So if you've been looking for something different, if you tried everything and you still feel that your rifts end, I'm here to tell you, it's worth a try. You have nothing to lose. Only amazing magic will happen. So if you're interested, just message me. I will send you the link. I would love for you to come play with me. And thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. If this was a contribution for you, please share with others so they can also be uplifted and know that no matter the situation, no matter how hard things can feel like they are or they can be, we're always able to shift and change everything. And if you can take this wave and you can ride it till the end, you'll be amazing at what shows up. Growth is always in the end of a process, of a container. And life sets us these containers, and it's all about how we grow through them, how we elevate ourselves through them. So you don't have to be alone in this. Let's do it together. I hope you have a beautiful day. Bye.